Welcome to Manila Updates TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. On January 21, 2026, the French aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle made its historic entrance into Manila Bay, a moment that would soon be etched into the annals of regional diplomacy and security. The arrival was not just a routine naval maneuver, but a carefully orchestrated display of France's growing commitment to the Indo-Pacific region. As the massive vessel glided through the calm waters, its imposing silhouette stood out boldly against the vibrant tropical skyline of Manila. The setting sun cast a golden glow over the warship, highlighting its formidable presence and the sense of anticipation that rippled through the city. Lined up on the carrier's expansive deck were rows of fighter jets, their sleek forms gleaming in the fading light. Though silent, these aircraft spoke volumes about the capabilities and readiness of the French Navy. Each jet was a symbol of deterrence, a quiet but unmistakable message that France was prepared to defend its interests and those of its allies. The arrival was met with a flurry of activity. News crews rushed to capture the dramatic scene while onlookers gathered along the shoreline, their eyes fixed on the colossal ship. This was no ordinary port call. It was a declaration that a new era was dawning in the region. For the first time in history, a French carrier strike group anchored off the Philippine coast. The presence of multiple French Navy ships in Manila Bay signaled a dramatic shift in the region's security landscape, one that would have far-reaching implications for the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. On the docks, French and Philippine naval officers exchanged firm handshakes and warm greetings. Their camaraderie was more than ceremonial, it was a visible testament to a deepening alliance, forged through shared values and mutual interests in maintaining peace and stability. The Charles de Gaulle's arrival was more than a symbolic gesture, it was a concrete demonstration of France's commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific, a promise made tangible by the presence of its flagship and the display of both French and Philippine flags fluttering side by side. For many Filipinos, the sight of the carrier brought a sense of reassurance and pride. Crowds gathered along the waterfront, waving flags and snapping photos, knowing that Manila was not standing alone in its efforts to defend its sovereignty and uphold international law. The message to Beijing and the wider world was unmistakable. The international community was watching, and the rules-based order in the South China Sea would be defended. The presence of the French fleet sent a clear signal that aggression and coercion would not go unchallenged. This historic port call set the stage for a landmark defense agreement between France and the Philippines, as diplomats and defense officials exchanged documents at the bustling Manila port. The relationship between the two nations was elevated from friendship to a robust and enduring security partnership. The thunderous arrival of the carrier marked the beginning of a new chapter, one where French and Philippine forces would train, operate, and stand together in the face of shared challenges. Joint military drills on the deck of the Charles de Gaulle became a powerful symbol of unity and resolve. As military leaders from both nations discussed strategies for Indo-Pacific security, a new strategic alignment was taking shape. The presence of the French carrier and its strike group had the power to reshape the security map of the region, offering hope for a more stable and cooperative future in the Indo-Pacific. Behind the spectacle of formal gatherings and diplomatic smiles, a significant shift was quietly unfolding in the corridors of power. A transformative defense agreement was taking shape, one that would redefine the security landscape of Southeast Asia and beyond. The Philippines and France were on the verge of signing a comprehensive pact, formalizing and expanding their military cooperation to an unprecedented level. This agreement was not just a symbolic gesture, it was a strategic commitment to mutual defense and shared interests. This was a calculated move. Both nations recognized the growing complexity of 21st-century security challenges, from territorial disputes to cyber threats, and sought to address them together through collaboration and innovation. The agreement would enable joint military exercises, intelligence sharing, and coordinated responses to emerging threats. It would foster interoperability between their armed forces, allowing them to operate seamlessly in times of crisis. Together, they would present a credible deterrent against any form of aggression, signaling to the world that both nations were prepared to defend their sovereignty and uphold regional stability. For Manila, this partnership meant gaining a powerful European ally with advanced military technology and global influence, an invaluable asset in a rapidly changing geopolitical environment. For Paris, it offered a strategic foothold in the Indo-Pacific, expanding France's presence and influence in a region that is increasingly central to global security and economic interests. The pact recognized a new reality. Europe's and Asia's security are now deeply intertwined, with challenges and opportunities that cross continents and demand collective action. President Marcos Jr. sought to diversify the Philippines' alliances, reducing dependence on any single partner and ensuring the nation's resilience. In France, he found a natural partner, one that shared democratic values and a vision for a stable, rules-based international order. This agreement was not about provoking conflict or escalating tensions. Instead, it was about preventing conflict, raising the costs of aggression, reinforcing stability, and promoting peace through strength and cooperation. The Franco-Philippine Pact promised a brighter, more secure future for both nations and the wider region, setting a powerful example of international partnership in an uncertain world. This partnership was the result of a decade of patient diplomacy. It began in 2016, as the Philippines faced mounting pressure in the West Philippine Sea and sought new allies committed to international law. France quickly supported Manila's arbitral victory over China, signaling reliability. High-level dialogues and naval exercises followed, building trust and interoperability. The 2019 Letter of Intent formalized ambitions for deeper ties, paving the way for equipment talks and joint training. With President Marcos Jr.'s election, Manila's proactive diplomacy met Paris's Indo-Pacific strategy. The journey from cautious engagement to a major defense pact was a story of shared interests and strategic convergence. At the heart of the new defense agreement between France and the Philippines are three foundational pillars, each designed to address the evolving security landscape of the region and to foster a robust alliance for years to come. The first pillar is operational intimacy. This means that both militaries are committed to working side by side, not just in times of conflict, but also during humanitarian crises, disaster response, and routine maritime security operations. Through joint training, shared protocols, and regular exercises, French and Philippine forces are building trust and familiarity, ensuring that when a crisis strikes, they can respond as a unified team with seamless coordination. The second pillar is a sustained joint presence in the West Philippine Sea. By conducting regular patrols together, French and Philippine naval forces are not only safeguarding vital sea lanes but also sending a clear message: these waters are protected and any illegal activities will be met with a coordinated response. This ongoing partnership demonstrates a shared commitment to upholding freedom of navigation and maintaining peace in a region marked by territorial disputes. The visible cooperation between the two nations acts as a deterrent to unlawful actions, while also signaling to the international community that regional stability is a priority backed by real action and investment. The third pillar is enhanced intelligence sharing. This involves the real-time exchange of critical information, satellite imagery, maritime surveillance data, and threat assessments, giving Manila unprecedented situational awareness over its territorial waters. For the Philippines, this means greater security and the ability to respond swiftly to emerging threats. For France, it offers deeper insight into the dynamics of the Indo-Pacific, strengthening its role as a global security partner and allowing it to contribute more effectively to regional peace. These three objectives, readiness, presence, and information, are not just theoretical. They translate into practical steps that enhance the ability of both nations to protect their interests, respond to emergencies, and support international law. Together, these pillars form a functional shield, safeguarding shared interests and reinforcing the rules-based order at sea. The pact is more than a signed document, it's a living blueprint for action, designed to adapt and respond to the challenges of today and tomorrow. By forging this security partnership, the Philippines and France are not only strengthening their own defenses, but also contributing to a safer, more stable region with real-world impact for their people and the broader international community. The pact turns promises into action. It authorizes larger, more complex joint exercises, naval maneuvers, air patrols, amphibious drills, and special forces training. The Philippines gains streamlined access to advanced French military hardware, from submarines to radar, and fighter jets. Technology transfer and co-production will help Manila build a self-reliant defense industry. Real-time maritime monitoring and intelligence sharing will transform the Philippines' ability to track threats in its waters. Reciprocal logistics support means French ships can refuel and resupply in Philippine ports, and vice versa in French Pacific territories. This logistical backbone makes sustained joint presence possible. The agreement unleashes a new era of operational cooperation and capability building. For the Philippines, this partnership is a game changer. It strengthens territorial defense and complicates the calculations of any would-be aggressor. Access to French technology and training will modernize the armed forces, making them more capable and professional. Industrial cooperation boosts the local economy and defense sector. Diplomatically, Manila gains flexibility and stature, reducing over-reliance on any single ally. The partnership amplifies the Philippines' voice in regional forums and reinforces its advocacy for a rules-based order. Ultimately, Manila gains more options, more support, and greater confidence to shape its own destiny. This is about securing peace through credible defense and robust alliances. For France, this partnership is a strategic pivot, not charity. With territories and citizens in the Indo-Pacific, France has direct interests in regional stability. The alliance with the Philippines provides a foothold in Southeast Asia and boosts France's global standing. It opens doors for French defense industries and locks in long-term strategic ties. France's presence helps balance power in the region, offering countries an alternative to choosing between the US and China. By stepping up, France shapes a more multipolar, stable Indo-Pacific. The partnership is a smart investment in France's security and influence. Collaboration with Manila cements France's role as a key Indo-Pacific player. The pact's impact will ripple across the Indo-Pacific and beyond. For the US, it strengthens integrated deterrence and eases the security burden. ASEAN's response will be mixed, some wary of tensions, others encouraged by new security options. China will likely protest and increase military posturing, testing the partnership's resolve. Globally, the pact signals a trend. European powers are now direct players in Asian security. It encourages other middle powers to deepen ties with Southeast Asia. The old hub-and-spoke alliance system is evolving into a flexible, interconnected web. Coalition-based security is the new model for a complex world. The path ahead is not without obstacles. China will exert pressure on Manila, testing its resolve and diplomatic skill. Funding and logistics are major hurdles. Modernization is costly, and sustained presence demands resources. Building true interoperability takes time, requiring aligned doctrines and cultural understanding. Success depends on commitment from both governments and military personnel. The partnership must be institutionalized, not subject to political whims. If both sides invest and persevere, the pact can become a cornerstone of regional security. Shared values and mutual respect will be the foundation. Together, the Philippines and France can build a powerful shield against uncertainty.